to change.
President Reagan said last week and again tonight that the world has become a safer place during his administration. Well, let's look at the record. Since he came to office, we have increased defense spending by $51 billion, or 32%, begun producing MX missiles, sent the Pershing missiles to Europe, put American troops in Lebanon, Honduras, Grenada, and increased the number of military advisors in El Salvador. This administration can point to no diplomatic achievements such as the Camp David Accords or opening up relations with China. In fact, this is the first administration since President Truman's to fail to achieve any kind of nuclear arms agreement with the Soviet Union. Both Dante Fascell, the chairman of the House Foreign Affairs Committee, and Senator Joe Biden, a ranking member of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, are experts in foreign policy. Dante, tell me, are we safer than we were 3 years ago?
No, we're not. The world situation is worse because of the nuclear escalation. We're perhaps in the most dangerous situation we've been in 30 years. I've talked to leaders from all countries in the last 3 years. They have concern about the direction, the stability, and the purpose of our foreign policy. What they see coming from the United States is confrontation and confusion.
Joe, what do you think?
Donner, you know, it seems to me that what's at stake here is the future. The president said that the future, the tide of the future is freedom. But unfortunately, that tide's going out, and we're at risk of losing control of our future. And it seems to me that unless we get an arms control agreement and a saner nuclear policy, we're going to be in real trouble. My father's generation, a president had days, sometimes only hours, but mostly days to decide how to react to the threat of war. In our generation, a president has a half an hour. In my children's generation, at the rate we're going, a president won't be part of the decision. It will only be minutes to decide, and that decision will be left to a computer.
And if you don't have a policy, we're in trouble.
It's difficult. Military strength is not the only answer to peace and security. We know that. Aggressive military action is no substitute, Governor, to seeking peace aggressively. And as the president said tonight, the United States needs to be strong. Well, we know that. We have no argument with that. But we also need to be smart about seeking peace.
I think an example of where we're not being smart is Lebanon. The president, in a 10-page speech, devoted one paragraph to Lebanon. And the fact of the matter is that he said we're making progress, but I don't see that progress. When I came to the United States Senate 11 years ago, I swore I'd never vote to send a fighting man anywhere in the world unless two conditions prevail. The first being a clear definition of the purpose, and the second one being that we had full faith and credit of the United States behind that fighting man. Neither of those conditions prevail today, and I think the president who says America's back still has Marines in Lebanon. It's time to bring those Marines back, and it's time for us to have a coherent foreign policy. We don't have one.
Well, Senator, the president said that we're making progress in Lebanon, but I don't see it, and I don't know of any progress. We've lost hundreds of lives there, and the people are asking, what have we accomplished? Our strength hasn't brought us any closer to peace and security because of it, and our present policy of confrontation has made peace and security very precarious. I think Americans have a right to be concerned.
And foreign policy is not the only area where we Democrats feel our future is in jeopardy. Senator Dee Huddleston of Kentucky and Democratic National Committee Chairman Charles Manette found considerable anxiety over long-term economic prospects in talking with a Kentucky farmer and a Maryland businessman just a few days ago.